Dissing your rivals can get your name buzzing, but Bronx rapper Suave Drilly built up so much tension in the streets that his ops were willing to strike right in front of a parole office. The Bronx has been heating up, and this is how everything led to Suave getting killed. On October 15th, 2025, Suave had a meeting with his parole officer in the South Bronx around 5 p.m. He'd been on parole since coming home in 2024 and probably thought the parole office was a safe place where the ops wouldn't try anything. But that wasn't the case. Before Suave walked out of the building, a woman nearby noticed 3 masked men walking up the street and called the police. But before officers arrived, Suave stepped outside, and the masked men rushed him and shot him. They took off running, leaving Suave bleeding in the street. His parole officer immediately called 911, panicking and begging for help.
79 Alexander K.
Police arrived and tried to save him, but Suave died at the hospital. He had enemies all over the Bronx, and no one knows who pulled the trigger. As soon as the news broke, rappers like C-Blue started clowning him online. Even Lil Tjay, one of the biggest rappers out of the Bronx, threw shots at him. The Drillies used to make a lot of noise in the Bronx, but recently many members were locked up on RICO charges. Even so, they still had shooters outside. According to rumors, an OG from the Drillies, who was locked up, was giving orders from prison for members on the outside to get revenge for Suave's murder. Losing Suave was a big hit to the crew. He wasn't a major artist, but he'd been loyal since the early days when Spazz Drilly founded the group. Spazz and many dudes from a section of the Bronx called G-Side were originally tied to the Bloodhound Brims. Spazz and his close friend Dumbout were both Brims, but after Dumbout was stabbed to death at a barbecue in 2018, things changed. The situation created a lot of tension in G-Side, and Spazz broke off and formed the Drillies. Suave grew up with him and joined the Drillies from the very beginning. While Spazz built his name in the Bronx drill scene, Suave held things down in the streets. Spazz had been rapping since 2016, but his 2020 track Bunny Hop really boosted his career and helped spark the Bronx drill wave. Suave didn't even plan to be a rapper, but one day in the studio, Spazz convinced him to jump on a beat. Suave wrote a verse in his notes app, and that's how he ended up on the song Op Spotter with Spazz and Good Day Ray. On the track, Suave dissed K-Flock and bragged about catching him lacking. I was the legend, post it, you was at home, forfeit. I was on the Ray, off it, he throw up thumbs, off it, got him. Then he followed up with, why they capping like we don't carry heat and we've been in the streets. Knox was deadly. No, I punched him in the sleep. K was lacking. He ain't know I was a creep. Suave claimed he caught K-Flock lacking in his own neighborhood and beat him up back in the day. When Suave came home in 2024, he spoke about the situation in a P Films interview.
I'm like, damn, it's a girl and a boy. So I'm walking, I get close, I see it's him. We lock eyes and shit. Yeah, and it was up after that. Started getting it on. Like, well, you ain't really get it on. Like, I'll beat the shit out of him. I ain't gonna.
Suave's story about the K-Flock incident. Suave said he was dropping someone off near Sev's side one morning and decided to walk through the area. At first, he didn't see any rivals, but eventually he spotted K-Flock walking with a girl. According to Suave, he confronted him inside a building and fought him there. He said there was no video evidence, and although he tried to get the building security footage to post it, he was unable to obtain it. Before Lil Tjay blew up and made it out of the Bronx, Suave and his crew allegedly caught him lacking, jumped him, and snatched his chain. Later, on the track Ali, Suave even dissed Tjay over the situation, rapping, "Tjay got robbed, Loose got robbed, I can't be stopped, Ali." Suave's song Op Spotter with Spazz and Good Day Ray started running up numbers, and he finally had some momentum. But every time Suave tried to take off, his legal issues pulled him right back down. Suave had been in and out of jail for years. In 2018, he was booked on a gun charge and sat down for a while. He came home, but in February 2019, he got arrested again, this time for attempted murder. He paid $50 to bond out a month later. 2 months after that, he got into a fight inside the courthouse and was arrested again, and bonded out again. A few months later, he was arrested for reckless endangerment. He bailed out, stayed free for about a year, and started taking rap more seriously. Just a couple months after dropping Op Spotter, Suave got locked up again, this time for 4 years. When he went in around 2020, he was already fighting 6 open cases at the same time. Then things got worse. In 2022, the NYPD brought down a major indictment on the Drillies. The crew had been tied to heavy street activity, so the Bronx police launched Operation Drilly, aiming to take down the whole group. The indictment named 20 members, with police calling them one of the Bronx's most violent crews. According to the indictment, the Drillies were connected to over 30 violent acts in just a few years. In 2019, they allegedly almost stabbed a man to death on his way home from school. They were also tied to the murder of Delilah Vasquez. She was found in an abandoned building in 2021 with a gunshot wound to the head. Delilah had affiliations with both the YGs and the Drillies, but wasn't officially part of either crew. Rumors spread that she was backdoored or accidentally shot, and after her death, rival crews began dissing her heavily. On Right Now Pete 2, C-Blue dissed both Delilah and Spazz's homie Dumbout, rapping, like, how many ops just died? Delilah got put in the sky. Heard that lil bitch got shot in her eye. Now that lil bitch can go be with dummy. Trying to run up? Boy, he was a dummy. The Drillies called cap on the backdoor rumors. On Back of My Bully, Swap referenced her. R.I.P. Lila, that shit had me sick. That shit be wrong when they talk about sis. So we spinning the peas looking for the rips. We spinning the peas looking for a hit. Meanwhile, Suave was locked up as most of this was unfolding. Even though he wasn't on the streets, he was facing up to 15 years if his case didn't go his way. The state offered him plea deals. 10 years, he refused. 8 years, he refused again. He was ready to fight it in trial, but in 2023, the state offered 4 years, and Suave finally accepted. Since he had already been locked up for a few years, that meant about 1 more year remaining. His first couple years inside weren't too bad, because he was locked up with several homies. But after taking the plea, he got transferred to a prison upstate, and that's where things nearly turned deadly. Upstate, Suave linked with some dudes he thought were solid, but they tried to backdoor him, and Suave ended up getting slashed across the face.
You know, like, I'm in my cube one day laying down and shit. I get would get cut over the cube. For me, so like my first reaction, I'm not thinking I'm cut. So when I touch my face, it's like, oh, I feel the blood. I feel the blood, so I just start banging out.
Suave made it out of prison and came home in 2024. He told Pete Films the first thing he did was go see his daughter.
I seen her one time, like throughout the 4 years, I seen her one time and shit.
Yeah.
So, and it was closer to when I was getting released. I seen her in May, like right before my birthday and shit.
Yeah.
So when I seen her, it was like the second time I really seen her in a while.
Only first energy. But jail didn't change how Suave moved. The second he touched down, he jumped right back in the trenches. By the time he came home, the Bronx drill wave was already dying out, but Suave still hit the booth talking crazy. On Back Up My Bully, he spit, "Don't fuck with no flock, cause you know I'm Big Drilly. Empty the clip. If I spot me a rippy. I just came home and I spent me a 50. Fuck is a label? I got my own milli." Then in 2025, Suave dropped another track exposing me. In the raps, "I'm getting money, I don't wanna see y'all. Niggas keep dying, I don't wanna be y'all. Free all the bros who didn't get low, who got shot like who got poked. Be with the G's, be with the Globes. I don't fuck with them niggas that's jacking an O." Even though he was in his late 20s with a daughter, Suave was still out here bugging. One day, he walked through a park, heard somebody playing an ops music, and instantly put hands on him, then aired it out on IG.
Oh, nah, I'm jacking him. Yo, that nigga was holding on to his bike for dear life. He knew what's up.
In an interview, he said it happened at the same park where he pressed Lil Tjay back in the day. Suave always had a reputation for crashing out. He allegedly ran over an op and posted it, and shortly before he died, he knocked someone out in the street and leaked the security footage himself. He wasn't only going at ops either. One time, he saw a dude from his own hood give an op a pass, so Suave kicked him down the block and spit on him. Rumors started flying that Suave got backdoored by his own people, but the Drillies locked up right now are telling everyone, if you really jack Suave, get back. The Drillies still got shooters outside, but most of the main members are behind bars. Spazz got locked right after dropping Op Spotter with Suave in 2020. He was blowing up, but in July 2020, he killed a man named James Rivera and caught a 15-year sentence. With Spazz and Suave gone, Lil Drilly became the face of the crew, running up crazy numbers and clowning ops all over social media. He was allegedly sliding in their hoods too.
Flock. Come outside, Flocker. Come play. Where the bro? Come play. Come play today. You always playing on the internet. I want you to come play today.
But then Operation Drilly hit and Lee got booked for 6 years. All the Drillies getting locked up around the same time killed their whole momentum. By the time Suave came home, he wasn't seeing any real money from music. He missed the drill wave, went back to the streets, and that's what led to his tragic death. All right, everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the situation in the comments below. That's all I have for you today. Stay safe, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.